Good morning, traders. You're listening to Newsware's Trade Talk. This is your moderator, Shane Scott. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. We're here to provide you with the up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Getting things started with our markets update, U.S. futures are rallying this morning with S&P futures up 0.73%, Dow futures up 0.33%, and NASDAQ futures up 1.9%. The NASDAQ 100 contracts are pointing to the return of the tech outperformance as treasury yields stabilize. Apple and Tesla have both climbed in pre-market. AMC jumped 10% after posting smaller than expected loss. GameStop sank 6% and Roblox gained 10%. Elsewhere in markets, copper climbed above $9,000 a ton. Oil advanced and the dollar has weakened. There's a couple bullish catalysts that are pushing the market today. One is the boost in sentiment from Wednesday's weaker than expected report on U.S. consumer prices, which eased concern about broader inflationary pressures. And secondary is the $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief bill, which has cleared its final congressional hurdle and is set to be signed by President Biden on Friday. Over in Europe, the euro strengthened and the stock 600 index was little changed before the European Central Bank's policy meeting. Over in Asia, the CSI 300 index surged 2.5% on Thursday, which was its biggest daily gain in 2 months. And the MSCI Emerging Markets Index jumped 1.9%. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Shane, I've been watching the S&Ps all morning long, and they've been steadily increasing. So we're looking for a good, solid opening this morning. I do have to point out we have the jobless claims numbers coming out at 8:30 this morning, so we got to watch to see what what number they come in at. Inflation concerns really have decreased. With the release of yesterday's CPI numbers. On the economic calendar today, that we have the jobless claims, this morning, and later this morning there's a job openings or JOLTS report coming out at 10 a.m. What's really interesting to me is that how there's been a big turnaround in the European markets. You were seeing that the DAX and the FTSE were trading a little lower. They were very cautious, but they've seen this turnaround and they started making some positive gains after the ECB president, Christine Lagarde, came out and made some comments regarding the EU economy. So it's all positive. And, let's not forget, tonight Biden's going to be addressing the nation, and that's always typically a positive catalyst going into the markets. So let's wait to see how today shapes out, but it looks good so far.
Mm-hmm. Well, what else looked good was JD, one that we talked about yesterday. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about earnings to watch. What are we seeing today, Bill?
Yeah, JD was a good one. We were discussing that one yesterday, and these guys really did come through. They delivered a nice solid beat. They beat by 4 cents on higher revenue. And you look at the stock this morning, it is trading higher. It's up, 5.79% or $5 to 94.50. So JD came in strong. Oracle, we talked about Oracle yesterday. They delivered a 5-cent beat, but they missed on revenue. I swear this stock is allergic to EPS reports. I mentioned it yesterday that Oracle has a tendency to sell off even if the report is good. And they beat by 5 cents. Not good enough. And you look at shares of Oracle this morning and you see that they're trading lower by 5.31% or $3.83. So, just another example of Oracle, the past coming back to be true. They don't seem to react well on earnings reports. Cloudera, this is ticker CLDR, Charlie, Larry, David, Richard. They beat by 4 cents on higher revenue. Looked like everything was positive, but you see the stock this morning, it's actually down 6.86% or $1.01 a share. So, but those are some of the earnings I caught this morning that I was reading about.
Mm-hmm. How about insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
Let's talk about DocuSign. That's ticker DOCU. David, Oscar, Charlie, Under. They're coming out this afternoon. Calls are more active than puts. Shares have rallied 10% in this quarter's results. It's priced for an 8% move. Honestly, I have some forward guidance concerns here, and it's mainly due to some comments that were made on the March 1st Morgan Stanley show where the executives were talking and they were being interviewed, and they showed a little bit they showed a little bit of wavering there in some of their statements about having to rethink the calendar year. So I'm a little concerned with DocuSign, but I do think it will trade higher throughout the day today, but cautious on the earnings report. El Polo Loco, that's ticker LOCO, Larry Oscar Charlie Oscar. This one's priced for an 11% move. This is a fast food company, and earlier this quarter they said that they're reducing their operating hours for many of its locations in temporary closing related to the pandemic. That's going to hit fourth quarter sales. That's not good for them. So I wouldn't be surprised if the stock takes a little bit of a hit when they release earnings. There's no volume yet today, but it's one to watch out for.
Moving into our economic reports, Bill, what are you seeing as far as reports today?
Listen, we have the jobless claims coming out at 8:30 a.m. this morning, and at 10 a.m. we have the job openings reports, also known as the JOLTS report, coming out.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on Alkermes, that's ticker ALKS. The company announced today that its investigational immunotherapy has been granted orphan drug designation for the treatment of mucosal melanoma by the US FDA. Alkermes share price is up 9.37% in pre-market. One on Axon, ticker AXON, and Skydio. They'll be partnering to offer Skydio's drones to law enforcement and emergency responders via Axon's unmanned aircraft program, Axon Air. Axon share price is up 3.44% in pre-market. One on Biohaven, ticker BHVN. We talked about them yesterday, actually, too. So they have some interesting and ongoing momentum. But Biohaven's Nurtec has been approved in the United Arab Emirates for migraines. Biohaven closed 5.83% lower in market yesterday. AstraZeneca, ticker AZN. Not so good news for them. Danish officials have temporarily suspended the use of AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine as they and other European regulators investigate reports of severe blood clots in people who have received doses. AstraZeneca's share price is down 1.57% in pre-market. Following that, on the same topic, the European Drugs Agency is said to recommend Johnson & Johnson, ticker J&J, their vaccine for block. So J&J's share price is up 0.36% in pre-market. One on PepsiCo, ticker PEP. The company's Frito-Lay has now become the snack chip partner of Six Flags. That's kind of interesting considering that, Six Flags is still not open, but I guess it's the closer we get to herd immunity, the more feasibility even by the end of this year, maybe that changes the game and they have a big turnaround. But in preparation for that, PepsiCo's, they're doing this partnership with them. PepsiCo's share price is up 0.54% in pre-market. CVS Health, ticker CVS, has just opened 30 COVID-19 vaccination sites in New Jersey and has added nearly 1,200 locations across the 29 states where the company is administering vaccinations. CVS share price is up 0.74% in pre-market. Last one for me, Revlon, ticker REV, has jumped 4% to $11 per share after its quarter four results. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Shane, I always break my news alerts down into segments and, based on industries and events. Really gives me that push in the morning to find out what's trading, what's going to be hot, what stock's going to be moving. My FANG alert went off on Apple this morning. Apparently all 4 iPhone models are going to be featuring larger batteries with higher capacities, and the new models will be a lot heavier than the iPhone 12. This is a rumor that's out there. It's been unsubstantiated, but it's very interesting to know. Here's one on Amazon, ticker AMZN. Apparently, the European regulators are struggling to gather enough evidence to bring in antitrust charges against Amazon. Despite working on this case for nearly 2 years, they're still struggling to understand how Amazon's algorithm works. Facebook, ticker FB. Apparently yesterday they asked the federal judge to dismiss antitrust lawsuits from the FTC and state attorneys general's offices, arguing that it does not engage in anti-competitive business practices and it has not hurt consumers. So it's kind of interesting as we get more into these big tech hearings that are coming out later this month. but they're already denying it, and we'll see what happens with them. My Dow Jones 30 alert, ticker Visa, ticker V, which is Visa. Uh, at the Wolf Research Virtual FinTech Forum yesterday, their CFO said that the new flows of business has grown at extraordinary levels through the pandemic, and you should see some real effort on their part to help e-commerce business grow both domestically and cross-border. So we think we have laid out the groundwork for fast recovery and one that will hopefully be coming soon. And that was a pretty positive statement with regards to the future growth for Visa. Verizon, that's ticker VZ. Remember, they had their Investors Day yesterday, and they came out and they said that they're seeing 4% annual sales growth, and they're attributing growth in 5G for this 4% annual sales growth. Apple, I noticed that they denied re-entry to that conservative social media app Parler into their app store. They're not going to be part of it. So Parler's got to look for a new way to get their social media application out there. One of my retail alert, Kohl's, that's ticker KSS, Kilo Sam. The Actor Investor Group is seeking to replace 5 of their board members. That's a pretty heavy toll. My dividend alert went off on Target. Apparently they're increasing they announced a quarterly dividend of 68 cents per share, and Oracle as well, because Oracle raised their dividend to 32 cents from 24 cents. But it was reported that Larry Ellison didn't participate in the deliberation or the vote on the dividend. Interesting to know. Events today, we get TMUS. This is T-Mobile, ticker TMUS, Tom, Michael, under Sam. They're having a virtual Investors Day today that starts at 2 p.m. Quest Diagnostics, DGX, they have their virtual Investor Day today at 9 a.m. And Parsons, ticker PSN, Paul, Sam, Nancy, they're holding their Investors Day today. It starts at 9 a.m. Also, just want to remind everyone, Lilly's on Saturday is going to be providing additional details on their Alzheimer's treatment that they have that showed, was pretty effective in their January release, and they're going to be providing more additional details on Saturday. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lilly starts to run today and tomorrow ahead of this news.
Moving into our trade talk picks for today, I've got 2 picks coming at you. One is Northern Oil and Gas, ticker NOG. It's had a recent earnings estimate revision. That's suggesting good things are ahead with a 5.22% move. It's supposed to be announced before it opens tomorrow. This one's a little bit higher right now. It went up about 1.86% in pre-market. It's at $14.21 right now. I would look to get into this one, and I'm going to set to get in this one at $14, at least $14 neutral, not above it. So we'll see if it hits that price target. Second pick for me would be Kirkland's, ticker KIRK. This is an earnings play as well. It's set to announce before it opens tomorrow. It's got an estimated EPS of $1.31, and it looks positive, and it's got a positive momentum last few days. So I think we can expect a raise out of that one as well. What's your pick looking like, Bill?
Shane, I'm going with Ultra Beauty. That's ticker ULTA, under Larry Tom Apple. This is a run into the EPS. The straddle price for a 6% move. That's about $20. Now, I'm not really planning on holding this into the announcement, but I do feel that the stock's going to be moving higher today. And when it does start to move higher, I'm going to be taking profits. I noticed that the options are not overly priced, meaning I don't see a greed factor being built in. I really do expect to see a strong guidance report from them when the economy gets back to normal this year. I look at how the options traded yesterday, and what was my number here? They were pretty good. It was you had the weekly options at 782 calls and 732 puts, so it's a 1.07 ratio. That's positive, but again, I'm not really holding this to earnings. I'm just looking to, try and get in and out in the same day for this stock, and look for, some momentum, as I suspect it's going to be trading higher throughout the day, especially towards the close.
Well, let's go ahead and move into what's hot off the press. So this is the news that's hitting the tape as we speak that will be moving the stocks today. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So Bill, looking at our newswire alerts, seeing the headlines streaming in, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
Let's talk about Apple. They just began assembling the iPhone 12 in India. That's interesting to know. OPEC, they came out and they said that the Libyan crude output rose by 33,000 barrels per day in February.
Akerna, ticker KERN, has signed an agreement to acquire Viridian Sciences.
Oh, here was U.S. jobless claims fell by more than forecasted last week to 712,000. That's the lowest since early November. This is ticker MGI, MoneyGram. Their digital business reports 118% year-over-year transaction growth in February.
Kroger Health, ticker KR, they've increased their operational capacity to administer COVID-19 vaccines.
Johnson & Johnson, the EU drug regulator, approved their single-dose COVID vaccine shot. Iraqi crude output rose by 59,000 barrels per day in February. Saudi Arabia's crude output fell by 930,000 barrels per day in February. Yet the Chinese crude imports rose above 11 million barrels per day in February.
Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing right now.
Same here. So that's going to do it for us as far as what's hot off the press. But traders, keep in mind these same breaking stories we got, you can receive them just like us simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for a free trial today. It will definitely up your trading game. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Wednesday. I had Coherent, ticker COHR, opened at $249.62. Had a little volatility. There was a little bit time to make, a small move, small gain, depending how you played it. Closed at $247.05 for a 1.02% loss end of day. How'd yours end up doing, Bill?
I did Domo, ticker DOMO, David Oscar, Mary Oscar. You got to remember, I'm working on solid fundamentals. They're really designed to produce a positive return in a short period of time ahead of a catalyst event. The catalyst event obviously is the earnings. These guys' earnings are due out this afternoon. This stock opened up at 64.89 and then it just spiked. And in the first 15 minutes of the day, it rose $3 to $68. That's more than a 3% move in the first 15 minutes. Take your gains, walk away. The stock actually did wind up closing lower, but it easily beat our 1% or $1 move. So, it was a real good win yesterday for ticker DOMO.
Nice. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.